Hey everybody. Today I'm going to go through the indicators that I use in ThinkorSwim. I'm going to cover them individually and detail how I utilize them. Now there's a couple of disclaimers anytime you're talking indicators, anytime you're talking trading styles. Long story short, there is no perfect indicator, and regardless of what indicators you tend to use, everybody's going to have a different style. So it's really important to try a few things out, take a look at them. Long story short, I didn't even come up with some of these indicators, but they're ones that I've come across that I've found to be helpful to how I view trading. And I'm going to lay out the case for why I use them, why I use multiple indicators, something that I've tried to get away from, but I have just found that this is essentially my most consistent set of indicators as well as performance based on those. So let's get started. So first off, you'll notice that I have this green line and this red line. So these are actually moving average exponential indicators that I combine together essentially into a singular indicator. What it means is I've got a close 9 length and a high-low 2 14 length. What this is going to do is it's going to indicate based on the cross of red crossing green, or red crossing green, or green crossing red. So if green crosses above red, that's a bullish indicator, go long. So I trade options. I either do calls to go long, puts to go short. On those green crosses red and stays above, that's a signal of bullish. So I want to stay. Even in a situation like this is potentially something where you'd want to stay. Generally, that can be argued, but the way that I use it is to see that. Now, in terms of red crossing green shows bearish. Again, a crossover, you'll notice it stays underneath, and that's how I know I'm going to go short. I'm going to go with puts. Now, some of these are really, really short. You look at a situation like this where a cross happens on this candle, and already you might have 3 minutes worth of downside to it, and then it's already back up. This is something that you run into with day trading. If you're going to trade a really fast drop, no indicator is going to be perfect. Things can switch up so fast on you that you need to have a stop loss in mind. You need to be willing to pull the trigger and get out of a trade if it goes against you quickly, because those losses can mount, especially with something like options, exponential to the movement of the stock. You can go from, it's merely a percent move in the stock overall, but in a matter of a few minutes, that could be tens of percent, if not even potentially hundreds of percent, depending on various things to do with the options. So long story short, that's what I do with my moving average exponentials. Now, this reversal indicator, I'll include a link in the description down below. This helps indicate those reversals. I trade on those reversals usually, and these help me spot those. A lot of times I will use this in tandem with not only the moving average indicators, but the RSI as well. Usually if the RSI gets too high, you want to go short side because it's getting overbought. And then if it's too low, you want to go the long side because it's oversold. Basically, that's all I'm really trading, is that concept the entire time. Now, the way that the volume plays a role in this, and I'll actually extend this a little bit so you can see, from what I can tell from lower volume stocks that I've analyzed this against, this does a pretty decent job of indicating how much sell volume and how much buy volume there was in the overall volume. So if you look at the original setup, I'm not a huge fan of the blue bar volume, I don't find it helpful. I don't really glean much from it other than, oh, a candle had more volume than the other one. Color of symbol ticks, same kind of thing. I don't really feel like I get a feel for what does the volume flow actually look like. So as a matter of fact, I turned off my volume subgraph because otherwise I'd have the standard volume would be right under the chart. I got rid of that. I did it for all four, well, 4X I'm not really trading. But anyways, in doing so, it gives me a better picture. So you can see right away, like for instance, this part of the chart, these candles kind of stand out. There was huge buy volume up into this. I mean, huge. You look, there was nothing around it that was even remotely there. We're talking double to triple kind of the averages were coming on this candle. So that was a big move. That was an outsized move. So if you were fortunate enough to get in here, technically the reversal wouldn't have shown until here. But I would argue that in a lot of ways, if I would have seen a reversal here would have been a questionable hold. But that push through is very strong. So this could have been, a 30-minute trade or so to get a really big push. But once you see that kind of outsized move, normally based on the RSI alone, I'd be looking to get out if I'm doing just a quick day trade. So basically the way that I'm viewing this and the reason why I'm willing to use multiple indicators, technically there are 4, but I'm kind of only really using 3. The volume is kind of just a confirmational thing and understanding if the move's going to be bigger or not. But if I'm seeing a green light, so to speak, with the moving averages, I'm seeing a green light with a reversal, I'm seeing a green light in terms of the RSI, that to me is 3 things telling me that the stock is likely going up. If I see 3 flashing red, that's a situation where I'm going to then see that downward move coming in advance. That's really my only goal. That's all I'm looking for, is how significant of a signal are they sending, because sometimes one indicator will be really strong and another will not. If I can get as many pieces of information from all these different indicators that tell me the same thing, I'm going to feel more confident going into my trade. Is it perfect? No, it will never be perfect. But for the way that I view it and the way that I work with it, that gives me the highest probability, and it's why I have the biggest success myself when I trade this. The reason I like sharing something like this is just to open people's minds to something that might be a little bit different than what they're doing. It doesn't have to be crazy different. I'm not saying I'm the most successful trader to ever trade. All I'm saying is this is what works for me specifically, and I work full-time. I have a lot of ventures and things that I do outside of my day job. So the fact that I can utilize all of these indicators and trade when I have an opportunity. For instance, I also do not like to trade just out of the open, especially with something like Snapchat. It's super volatile. But I do enjoy when stuff oversells heavily, you get a reversal indicator, strong volume. That's a move I want to play. So that's what I look for throughout the day when I trade. And sometimes a trade will take no more than 5 minutes. Other times it could take an hour and a half, depending on the time frame. Now I do want to show you one thing. I don't like the reversal indicator at all. So RSI moving averages I like across all time frames. Trend reversal I do not like in the 30-minute to 4-hour range, really. As far as daily, I actually really like it. I actually think that's one thing where if you're not an active trader, it's something worth looking at, because it does seem to work a little bit better in that regard. Now, obviously, we have a lot of uncertainty going around, but long story short, check out those indicators, see if they mean anything to you, if they have any value, and let me know in the comments below. If you like the video, if it's helpful, feel free to like and subscribe, and hope to see you around soon. Thanks.